I have started many series over the past 2 years, and a lot of them I'm not going to be continuing for one reason or another. So let's talk about the ones I'm not going to keep going with. First is the Graceling series. I read the first book and the prequel, and I liked them, but I don't think that I was intrigued enough to keep going. This is definitely one that I could be convinced to read, but I just wasn't fully invested. Then we have the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. I don't know if this is YA or middle grade. It's one of the two, but it just read a little bit too young for me, and I wasn't totally pulled in by the story. The Caraval series. I read all three of the first books, and after the first book, I was really hoping that it was going to get better, and then Legendary got like a smidgen better, and then once I started reading Finale, it was kind of just like a hate read, honestly, so I will not be going into Spectacular. Sadly, I just could not care less. I read the first book in the Circle series. I don't know if it's called something else. This is like a dystopian sci-fi, and it was pretty good for what it was, but it's not one that like I ever think about. It was just kind of average. I felt like in the first book, a lot of stuff could have been cut down, so I just didn't really feel like reading the second one. Last year, I read Demon Slayer, which was a fun time, I will admit, but it was just a little bit too corny for me, and I don't think that I'll continue the series. The Atlas Six. I enjoyed the first book, and then going into the second book, I just could not take it anymore with these characters. They are absolutely insufferable, every single one of them. At the beginning of this year, I read Lunaria, which is a fantasy series. I think there's 2 books out right now and possibly a third that's set to come out. I really didn't enjoy this book, so I'm not going to be continuing. Another one that I could be convinced to continue reading is the Maid series. I thought this was a really fun, cozy mystery, but it was nothing that really stood out to me. I wouldn't mind picking up the rest of the series, but it just doesn't really ever pique my interest. Amari and the Night Brothers. I actually really enjoyed this one. This is a middle grade book, and it's so fantastical and fun, but it was just a little bit too young for me, unfortunately. If I had read this in middle school, I would have been absolutely obsessed with this book. So highly recommended to any of you that might have children in middle school. And lastly, I don't think I'm going to be continuing the Howl's Moving Castle series. I did really like the first book, but it was just a little bit too slow for me, and I just don't think I want to continue on. Is there any of these you think I should continue with?